Akagi Hina, An Eclipsing Bond. Part 1. Violent winds ripped through a ruined city. Clouds hid the moonlight and painted groups of collapsed buildings black. Among the concrete rubble, a young girl breathed heavily as she wandered to and fro. "Please, hear me." The girl shouted her missing brother's name again and again. In this ruined city, beasts lay in hiding. "I have to find my brother before the beasts find me," she thought. "I have to protect my brother," she thought. With these desperate wishes, the girl continued to run, forgetting her hunger and injuries. At a destroyed intersection, she saw a human form the size of an adult. There's no way there could be another person here. The girl did not trust the shape, but she had to check to see if it was her brother. She stepped carefully over the rubble to get closer to the pitch-black form. It was tall and slender. She could only see its back, but it seemed to be male. The girl crept right behind the shape. Its hair glowed silver in the moonlight that pierced the clouds. The figure slowly turned around and spoke. "I've been waiting for you, sister." The girl snapped back to reality. The rhythmic sounds of engines and propellers filled her ears. The girl let out a breath to slow her heart. She was on a heavy transport helicopter on its way to her next mission. In the transport were rows of firearms and explosives. Seated along the sides of the craft were other teenagers wearing the same uniform as the girl. She looked out a round window to the outside. Under a blue sky lay a burned-out city. It looked similar to the city she and her brother were lost in when they were children. Maybe that triggered the vision she had. It wasn't memory. It wasn't déjà vu. "Leader, did you spot the enemy?" The girl was lost in thought when she was spoken to by another member. From under the subordinate's cap flowed beautiful silver-colored hair. They had been squad mates for 2 years now. The subordinate looked worried. The girl called leader replied, "No, nothing," and smiled. The girls were members of a special organization. Their purpose was to subdue the threat posed by the white skeletal beasts, Region. Some days earlier, there was a Region attack in the ruined city. 8 helicopters of troops were ordered sent to subjugate the enemy. They were near their destination. The girl was about to give preliminary orders to her troops when, "Calling all units, enemy attack, confirmed aerial attack, prepare for impact," a sudden, screeching warning. The helicopter group was 400 meters above sea level. A Region attack from the ground was unlikely. The puzzling warning threw the troop into confusion. Before they knew it, the transport started a sharp turn. The gravity in the transport shifted 90 degrees, and everyone grabbed onto handles and belts. Gravity then returned to normal, but in the next instant, the helicopter shuddered under the impact of a hole opening in the armored hull. A beast's cry thundered through the air. Through the hole in the craft, the troops could see a chalky white creature. From its head extended a long beak, and from its back grew great, bony wings. It looked like the flying dinosaurs of eons past. It can't be. The Region can fly. The Region struck out with its beak, tearing apart a troop member and spraying blood and viscera. The other troops cried out and fired their weapons, but the Region's exoskeleton was hard and left unscratched. In the wake of those useless attacks, 2 figures fell on the beast. The first was the troop leader. She thrust an explosive deep into the throat of the beast. Immediately after, the silver-haired girl drew her sword and severed both wings. The beast fell into the sky below and detonated. The leader and the silver-haired girl breathed heavily in unison. The two exchanged a look of trust, then turned their attention to the hole in the craft to check the situation. All around the helicopter group, flying Regions surrounded them. One helicopter was diving in flames. Another was split in half, spilling out its squad like confetti. The sight was terrible, but the girls had no time to feel grief. Smoke rose from the surface, and a giant white beast appeared from underground. It opened its maw to the sky like a carnivorous plant, caught the falling helicopter out of the air, and swallowed it whole. The flying legion dropped prey from the sky to be consumed. It was like a hunting grounds for them. At this rate, the entire company would be lost. The girl ordered an evacuation. The troops put on their parachutes and jumped, one by one, from the hatch. "Leader, you must get out too," the silver-haired girl yelled before she jumped herself. With her squad all out, the girl breathed a quick sigh of relief. She towed the jump-off point and, without a parachute, flew into the open sky. The girl fell at an incredible pace, and as she tumbled through the air, she brandished her sword. She swung at one legion and another, with no time to confirm her kills. She then changed tactics and landed on the back of a flying legion, using it as a jumping-off point to change the direction of her fall. She flew like a bullet, this way and that, slashing her way as she went. After cutting down most of the flying legion, she turned her blade towards the head of the hunt. Falling like lightning, the girl landed on the head of the giant legion, thrusting her sword deep into its skull, splitting it, the body shuddering. The beast's body fluids burst from the wound. The great beast's final cries shook the ruined city. A giant, pale, bony form lay on the ground. On it stood a girl who held its disfigured heart. If I had hesitated to jump from the helicopter, if I had read the enemy movements in the air incorrectly, after a series of events where one mistake would have cost her her life, the girl's body shook in excitement. Her cheeks were flush, and the breath raced through her nostrils as she held the beast's heart close to her chest. These were symptoms of a mental disorder the girl hid. It began with her experience early in life in the ruined city playing hide-and-seek with the beast, her life in danger. The extreme stress of trying to protect her brother was the seed. She developed a reaction to life-threatening situations where she grew agitated, stimulated. To the girl who lost her parents young, her last family member, her brother, was everything in the world to her. But 2 years ago, he was slain by the hated beasts. With everything now taken from her, she was filled only with a need for vengeance. "Leader, are you all right?" A voice called out. It was the girl with silver hair. The squad who evacuated by parachute landed safely, and they ran over to their leader. The girl took the heart she held, sliced it to pieces, and turned to them. Her expression filled her squad with trust and admiration, a kindly smiling expression.